Really become fond of my mini loaf cakes. I've shown you how to make chocolate and cherry, blueberry and pumpkin, I believe. I've also just made one that it's like one of the round cakes, the caramel-like one, but it's more apple-y, so it's like an apple cake. I have made it with canned cooked apples, and I made it with applesauce. And the applesauce, no sugar added applesauce, is just fine. So I want to show you how to make the mini apple cakes today, and mini loaves. When you cut one of the cakes into 4 pieces, each piece has 40 calories of goodness. Aside from artificial sweetener, it's full of whole grains and no saturated fats. 40 calories each compared to, I think it's Weight Watchers snack cakes. They're like this big and they have 80 calories. So this is bigger with half the calories. So I think you should make your own mini cakes, and they're a great little snack during the day. So the ingredients are baking powder. This should all sound familiar to you. Baking powder, loose oat bran, whole wheat flour, soy flour, fake Splenda, fake sugar, bargain brand, no sugar added applesauce, little egg beaters, and the almond milk. A half a cup of almond milk, about 1/8 of a cup of egg beaters, a lot of applesauce. I think it is 1.5 cups of applesauce. I think that's everything. Hold that thought though. Okay, I was a little turned around there because I had the recipe for the apple loaves when I used the canned apples instead of the applesauce. Now I'm on target. So, for my dry ingredients, I used 1/4 cup of oat bran, about 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour. It was 66 grams. About 1/4 cup of soy flour. It was 30 grams. And less than a tablespoon of baking powder. Let me check on these cakes. Sorry. And I'm stirring them all together. So whole wheat flour, soy flour, oat bran, baking powder are your dry ingredients. I never add salt. Have you noticed that? When I was growing up, every time somebody made something, they threw a pinch of salt in. I don't know why. For my liquid ingredients, I have less than 1/2 cup of baked Splenda, 1.5 cups of applesauce, the 1/8 of a cup of egg, the 1/2 cup of almond milk. And I'm going to add 1 capful of this sugar-free caramel flavoring syrup. It's in the coffee aisle. It would be kind of like adding a tablespoon or a teaspoon of vanilla extract or caramel. Do they have caramel extract? Anyways, so whisk your wet ingredients together and then mix in the dry ingredients. And I have 1/2 cup of water over here. I don't know how much water I'm going to need to get it at the right consistency. You do not want it too wet. It won't bake right if it's too wet. Then, after I bake them, just so you know, I have this little container of artificial sugar and cinnamon, so cinnamon and not sugar, and I'll sprinkle a little bit on the top when I take it out of the oven, and then when I flip them onto the cooling rack, I'll sprinkle a little bit on the bottom as well. This really makes the cake, so don't leave it off even. No, I'm not going to say it. I was gonna say, even if you use real sugar. Ah. So, just mixing it right in. You don't ever want to over stir it. So it shouldn't be smooth like cake batter. It should not be. Not silky smooth. It should have some lumps. I haven't used the whole cup yet, and I don't think I will. It looks like, yeah, I think that's right. So I added about a quarter cup of water. So you could just add that much almond milk. I don't know why I add water and not more almond milk. I really don't know. That's a good question. Because I used to use milk that was higher in calories, and this was a way to get more moisture without more calories. But the almond milk is so low in calories, that's just not necessary. I can use all of it can be almond milk. To get these even, I use the half a cup and do like a half a cup, and then see how much batter is left and do it again. Because I want them to be 3 equal mini-loaves. Oven at 350. Spray with your non-fat butter spray. And as I said, try to evenly distribute your batter. Cup for you. Right, mine's a little wet. Make sure I cook it long enough. Then another half a cup, but I'm going to spread it out. Practice is what gets it even. Over time, you can figure things out better the more you do it. Oh. Okay, 3 apple cakes, 3 apple loaves. I'm going to bake them, but I have other cakes in the oven right now. There's no room. But I'll show you when it comes out how they look and sprinkling the cinnamon and sugar on them. Okay, I believe the apple mini loaves are ready, and I'm aware that I don't tell you how long to bake things when I'm doing a baking video, and that's because there's so many factors involved. Your oven is a big one, and also how wet your batter turned out to be. I would say for the mini loaves that everyone's should cook in the time frame of 20 to 40 minutes, and that most people's will probably take 30 minutes. I could be wrong, I'm just guesstimating. You have to push down on it and see if it feels wet or not. So I think they might be a tiny bit wet, but I'm taking them out because I've had enough. Well, I have Brussels sprouts in there too. So as I said, the first thing I do before I flip them out over is sprinkle a little nut sugar and cinnamon on top. And just to make sure it sinks in, I'll spray water, the same water I use with my popcorn. And then, good, they came out, which is a sign that they're not too, that they are cooked. That was stuck on the side just a bit. And then a little bit of nut sugar and cinnamon on the back, and these are You can see the moisture coming off them, so you really don't need to spray that. There you go. And then put them somewhere to cool. And then, okay, so they should be 160 calories per little cake. So half of this cake actually is as much as one of those tiny Weight Watcher chocolate cake, carrot cake. They have a lemon cake. You know, they're very small though and expensive. So this is better. Enjoy.